So hello everyone, Grosey here, welcome back. Today we've got another video for the podcast that Christopher and I are doing with the Unhuntables series. We are continuing the 2p coin hunt we're going to get into some more topics that we failed to mention on the other video on Christopher's channel. Christopher's here as well, obviously.
Hello.
Hello, and if you are unsure about the format of this series, essentially we're going to be searching through the Unhuntables denominations, which are, or the off denominations, 2p's, 5p's, and 20p's.
You almost forgot it this
time. I know, there was
time.
me thinking on your video that, it's so easy, how's he forgotten? When you're actually explaining it, it is easy to forget. So yeah, we are not doing pennies because obviously Christopher does that anyway, so it's kind of, we don't feel a need to do that. And then pound coins as well, there's literally nothing to look for because lots of the territories have not followed suit with getting the new 12-sided pound coin. The full layout of the series is explained on Christopher's video, so if you are still looking for more once you finish this video, go back and watch Christopher's one, and that'll be good as well to watch. So what I think we should talk about first is the Tinny 50p's that we mentioned on your Royal Mint vlog.
Yeah. And
I think that's a good talking point. So if you weren't aware, some of the 2019 shields that you might found out and about, they sound a bit off. I don't know if I would try and show you, but I don't think it'll pick it up on the microphone very well.
Yeah,
maybe it will.
Obviously, when you're flicking through coins, they all sound very uniform until you get to them, and it's a sort of a tinnier, higher pitch ring to it. It's the same as you would like test for a silver coin. It sounds different from a copper nickel coin.
Definitely. So I figured, well, there's probably got to be two reasons for that. Either a mechanical error, well, not error, but a mechanical difference in the coins, whereby maybe the rim is slightly lower, or do you see what I mean? Something could be wrong, or there could be a composition change. And then what we did was we went to the Britannia Coin Company's HQ, and Christopher zapped it through the machine. I wasn't allowed in, so do you want to explain the result of that?
Yes, we had an XRF scanner. Now you're testing my memory. So the tinnier one had 1% more. Was it 2%?
I think it was the tinny one had 75.5% copper and 24.5% nickel, and then the normal one had 73.5% copper.
It was about 2% variant, wasn't it?
2%, interesting. Yeah, and we were thinking to ourselves, well, it's advertised actually on the Royal Mint website that the composition is 75% copper and 25% nickel. So in fact, the tinny one is actually closer to what it should be.
Yeah, bizarrely.
Which is a bit bizarre. And then I asked one of the tour guides at the Royal Mint if there was an error margin for it, and the response was, bear with me, let me go and ask someone higher up. And the response we got was that essentially the engineers would be the people to ask, and they weren't in at the weekend when we were there. But she implied to me that it should be a very small error margin, and 2% is quite a lot. So you probably have to test a lot of them to see if there's a real difference. But
it's hard it's even hard to predict what their tolerances would be. Whether, as you said, that the 2%, would that be totally unacceptable? But I've come across quite a few of them. And how many did you normally come across then?
I'd say I've got a bag. I think I have a bag full somewhere. Yeah, I've got a bag full. I can show it to the camera. It's maybe 15.
Yeah, I must admit, because I was keeping them, and then I found so many, I threw them back to the bank now.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I keep them if they pop up in the right place, if you know what I mean. If I'm just about to, if it's the last coin or something, and I'm not quickly flicking through them, and if it sounds, because some of them are a bit more obvious than others.
Yeah.
But I don't make a particular effort to keep them. I just keep them if they sound really off. A bit like shiny coins, if they particularly catch my eye, then I will potentially look to hold on to them. But no, it'd be interesting to see if any more light is shed on that potential situation, and obviously if you guys have any ideas what that could be, do let us know. And then also with regards to errors, we were also having this conversation about the 2016 £2 coin errors, because there are so many errors, probably more than we can even think of at the moment, that happened in 2016. Whether the Mint wants to call them errors or not, I don't know. But obviously the standout one was the Shakespeare tragedies with the Army Centenary edge inscription around it. And what I was thinking about was that at the Royal Mint you have the rimming machine. You put the they put the edge inscription on the blank before they put the design on. Yeah. So potentially a reverse way of thinking about it was that the coins were supposed to be armies they've had the obviously King and Country put on the rim, but then they've just been poured into the wrong striking machine. And we asked the question: does the rimming process happen in the same machine as the striking one? It happens in a separate room, doesn't it?
No, it happens in the same room, but it's at the far back right, I think she said it was.
Oh, I see.
So it happens in the coin press room, but on a totally different machine from the striking one. So those outer blanks are all one solid piece of metal when they put that edge inscription and the rim on the coin. And then obviously the inner part gets punched out, and then it gets dumped into the hopper, into the coin press, and the two of them are struck together. So yeah, so when those edge inscriptions were put on, the chances are they were intended to be on, they would have been for an army centenary. So I think what Grosey's trying to get at, it's not the wrong edge inscription, it's the wrong design.
Yeah, the wrong design has been put on the blank as opposed to the wrong edge being put on a tragedies.
Yeah, I think
definitely.
it's just half full, half empty, isn't it?
It doesn't really make much difference. The only difference it could make is that there could be, or what is a batch, maybe a few 100,000. There's probably a few 100,000 of them. There could be that many more tragedies than on the Mintage figure, or there could be that many fewer on the Army Centenary Mintage figure, if you see what I mean. If they were supposed to be armies, and then obviously those have actually been striked with the tragedies. It's interesting to note, because surely they can't plan to the... So you know how some of the Mintage figures are very specific, like 9,001,000, for example, the 2019 Paddingtons. Do you reckon they plan it to the coin, or do they count them? They count them after, though, don't they?
It's going to be tricky because the dies are supposed to last 500,000 strikes, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So that, I mean, that's quite a uniform number. So you could end up with a very uniform total. But what happens if a die wears out early, for instance?
Oh, that's true.
It makes me. It does make me wonder how they can get such round numbers. But I guess like. 10 million and 1,000 is a weird way to round it off, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It is bizarre, definitely. The other thing we heard at the Royal Mint, and again, to recap things that the Royal Mint, because there's always useful information that comes out of there, very interesting stuff. The potential that the penny and the 2p as well, maybe, might not be in circulation in 10 years. I know we've heard the Royal Mint make a 10-year claim before.
Yes, which was just about to jump on that.
Yes, which was swiftly not followed through with. But what do you make of that? Do you think that could be the case?
I don't think you can even look that far ahead. So when I started learning business studies in secondary school, they talked about 10-year business plans. By college, it was a 5-year business plan. By university, it was a 3-year business plan. And there are these unprecedented events that crop up, like the pandemic that we've been through, and then having to go to staycations, which then increase the demand for 2p coins. There is no way to forecast 10 years into the future. You might as well just be blindfolding yourself and throwing darts at a wall with topics on it, because there's no way to tell that far into the future.
Definitely. I think, thinking about it, the 2p's will probably outlive the 1p's, because obviously you have the 2p machines in the arcades and things, which would be made redundant, obviously, if they removed the...
But it was just... the thing that strikes me is I'm not worried about this happening anytime soon, was the absolute furore that happened when the Royal Mint or the government announced they were looking at withdrawing the penny and the 2p. People went nuts.
Yeah, people don't like change, though. They're so used to having the pennies.
They like change, that's why they won't get rid of it, Grosey.
Oh, that's... pun intended? That's what they like, change. That's a...
We've got channels built on change, Grosey. We don't want to get rid of it. We don't
I know, that's interesting.
We don't want to speed along the cashless society. There's no fun hunting through debit cards, is it?
Hunting through bitcoins.
Looking for commemorative bitcoins. It's not going to happen, is it?
Could you imagine? The coin hunting in 2060.
Exactly.
But no, that's interesting. We've also had the potential for the Alan Turing 50p to be circulated. I don't know if you've heard any more about that at all. Or
I think I told you, Grosey. The Royal Mint on their social media channels confirmed when someone asked, is it going into circulation? This coin is earmarked for circulation subject to demand. And that's not demand from the public, that's not demand from the Royal Mint, that is demand from the Treasury and the cash centres that forecast these things.
To see if they need more 50p's, yeah.
Yeah, so if they need more than what has already been planned with the stuff that's gone into circulation or been minted for circulation, then Alan Turing is next in line to be minted for circulation. And I have my fingers and my toes and everything crossed, because
Definitely.
the more commemorative coins we've got, the more variants we've got, the more slots to fill in the book, the better, I think.
100%. And what would be good is if they could just stop making the Jubilee ones, and do you see what I mean? So they have 5,070,000 Jubilees. Instead of doing that, maybe 4,070,000, but then do 1 million Alan Turings. That would be good to kind of spread the load between the not between the denominations, between the commemorative designs. That would be quite good. Instead of having, for example, 25 million Benjamin Bunnies.
Yeah, that could have been 5 coins with a 5 million mintage.
Yeah, definitely. I think that'd be much better. Also, very recently we had the what's it called? The Yale of Beaufort. That's it. I find it interesting that is 2023 dated.
Yes. So it's the third Royal Tudor Beast coin. That's the series that is the successor of the highly popular Queen's Beast series, one that I really, really liked. But yes, it's dated 2023. This isn't an outlier. This does happen. So the Lunar Beast is another coin that comes out with the next year minted on it. But there's always the rule of the Royal Mint. You can't mint a year that you're not minting in. But these are commemorative crowns, so
yeah, I guess
they can get away with it.
They're never going to be circulated. Maybe the law applies to circulation coins.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Again, I personally don't. I'd rather they were just the year is the year, but I don't know why. There must be a reason.
The lunar year, I always thought that was because it's Chinese lunar year, isn't it? So I thought the calendars change. I thought that was what it was, but I think. Was it last year or the year before was the first Queen's Beast I bought, and it was dated a different year, and that absolutely bamboozled me. So I have no idea why that's the case, I must admit.
Because we're still, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, but we're nowhere near 2023, really.
No.
I mean, the fact that we're closer to 2023 than 2021 blows my mind as well, but or even the fact we're closer to 2024 than we are to 2020. But no, that's interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that progresses. Because it was weird as well, because I saw the silver on the Mint website before the actual BU, Brilliant Uncirculated, and I thought, surely they've not just cancelled the BUs for this set and they're just going to do it in silver. A bit like the what's the set they did only in silver? Was it the Monarchs set?
Yeah, the British Monarchs.
That would have been cool to have in BU as well.
They are really pretty coins. They are really pretty coins, because it's the whole. They've taken some of these hammered, and there will be milled coins in this set. You can see the forecast of all the different monarchs, ending with Queen Elizabeth II, and they've taken some of these hammered or milled coins and replicated how that coin looks onto an obviously modern coin. So you have the effects of some like the weaker strikes of the hammered coin on it, the sort of off-centeredness to the. Obviously a hammer coin, they're not all going to be uniform and perfect, and so I think it's a really clever set. I was a little bit gutted there wasn't a BU version.
Yeah, it would have been good, but it just gets a bit expensive buying all the silver stuff, and that's definitely the case.
Definitely. So I'm interested to know what you make of this. So, because obviously the Yale of Beaufort is the latest and the newest coin in the Royal Tudor Beast series, but the Yale of Beaufort was in the Queen's Beast series as well, and many of the coins to come in that series, if you look at the creatures that line the moat bridge into Hampton Court Palace, a lot of them are already in the Queen's Beast series. What do you make of that?
Again, it's interesting, to be honest with you, that the Queen's Beast series is not something that I'm completely familiar with, because I think I came into the hobby maybe a little bit after halfway from when that was actually started, so again, it was probably a little bit before what I'm familiar with, but I guess it makes sense if you're doing a set for the Tudor Beasts and then the Queen's Beasts. If they happen to have crossovers, then I guess it makes sense. They've got to be a different design though. If it's the same design, that'll be a bit bizarre.
It's a different designer as well. The Queen's Beast was Jodie Clark, and the Tudor Beasts, I can't remember his name now. It's totally spaced on me for a moment. So, but yeah, they are different designers. But I think there's only 2 coins that are going to be different topics, because obviously lots of the Queen's Beasts are based on the Tudor Beasts, because it's the whole legacy of bloodlines and whatnots and doodads.
Yeah, no, definitely. It'd be interesting to see what they do with that. Again, it's Interesting. I wonder whether it'll have the same sort of, not hype, but the earlier ones in 4 or 5 years will have the same sort of value as some of those Queen's Beast ones.
With the Queen's Beast, it definitely did pick up. I would say, because the first 4 coins were a little bit quieter. The first 2 were lots of bought. 3 and 4 not so much, and then after number 5 came out, and after that Complete coin came out, which was my star coin of 2021. It's an absolutely beautiful design.
The good thing about the Queen's Beast Completer is that if you didn't manage to get the whole set before it actually it summarises the set quite nicely, so you could actually get away with just having that coin and still feel like you've taken part in the whole set, which is quite interesting. That's good. When do we reckon 2021 Mintage figures are going to come out, though? That'd be interesting.
Don't hold your breath is my advice.
Well, we are so Mintage figures last year came out, Mintage figures for 2020 came out 14th of September, so we are, when this video is going up, a week away.
The year before they came out around Decimal Day, though, in February.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. We shall see. But we're not expecting to see any 50p's or we are expecting to see 2021 £2, but not any 50p's, which is a bit unfortunate. Again, I don't know if you have any recollections of anything that might be circulated from 2021 50p ones.
Other than this elusive, hotly debated 2021 Britannia, which I'm not convinced is going to see circulation before this decade's out.
Which sometimes it's 2021, sometimes it's 2022, sometimes it's 2020.
Sometimes I forget.
Depending on which mood you're in.
I'm a busy person, Grosey. I got lots of things going on in my head.
So that 3 million that came out, just thinking about this now, that 3 million that was on the
I thought we got into the bottom of this. The 3 million that was on the annual report from the Royal Mint was not 3 million coins minted for circulation. That was 3 million coins released by the Royal Mint into circulation.
Right, I see. So probably the Shakespeare. So that wasn't 3 million 2021 Britannias being made.
Well, this is all hearsay. I don't know anything official. That was what I was told by various sources. No official Royal Mint sources, and nothing to do with the Britannia Coin Company. That all happened way before I started working for them. So there's no insider knowledge. This is purely what I've been told by other people who generally get things right when they predict things or explain things.
Definitely. That'd be interesting to see, because 3 million sounds like a not an unreasonable mintage figure for a 2021 Britannia £2. Obviously, it would be the highest minted Britannia that there has been, but 3 million.
She hinted it was going to be a low mintage, because she didn't know how many are out in the long store, but there aren't that many. Yeah,
no, definitely that'd be interesting. But that being said, we are at the end of the topics for this video. Let's go back and have a look and see what 2p's we managed to find. And that's the lot. So just 2 Jersey 2p coins from 1990 and 1983. What I'm also going to do is whiz through all of the other ones that we've already been through, which is probably a bit silly to do after, and see whether we've got any NIFCs or any of the varieties like the new pence, 2p, one that you can find from 1983, I think it is. So I'll be back in just a moment. Well, that took a lot longer than I was expecting. My hands are absolutely filthy after all of that. But yes, sadly, nothing else in addition to these 2 Jersey coins. That's not too bad at all. If you have enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing to the channel, and also go and check out Christopher's video as well that we did. Leave a like down below, comment, and also, as I said, do subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Bye bye.